You're watching Sports Today. I am Sushant Mehta. It was a day when England had India under the thumb, but one man changed it all. It was Rishabh Pant who struck his third Test century to not just rescue Team India from a precarious situation, but also give the home team a more than realistic chance to go for a win from here. India were reeling, simply reeling at 146 for 6 at one stage, but Rishabh Pant's counter-attacking ton seized the advantage from England, with Washington Sundar also joining the party. So 146 for 6 to 294 for 7 at the end of the second day's play, a lead of 89 runs.
Indications or signals that he was going to come down. Again an appeal, and it's been given this time.
It wasn't the brightest of starts for India, with Pujara falling early.
Well bowled.
Virat Kohli was left stunned to a delivery from Ben Stokes, and the Indian skipper walked back with his second duck of the series.
The departure of Virat Kohli without scoring.
Just at the stroke of lunch, Rahane was done in by James Anderson, who set up the Indian vice-captain brilliantly before the final assault.
First runs for Rohit Sharma.
It all came down to Rohit and Rishabh Pant, who added 41 runs for the fifth wicket before Stokes got the Indian opener one short of his 50.
49, he was looking for his 50th run, Rohit Sharma.
India were in trouble with England's first innings score of 205, still a fair distance away, and Ashwin's dismissal before the tea made matters worse. But Rishabh Pant once again played with great maturity and got an able ally in young Washington Sundar.
Down the ground. Over-pitched it was, but it had to be put away.
Pant kept his calm to reach his 50 as India soon went into the lead, which is when Pant opened up to score a bit more freely.
He's Rishabh Pant, what an innings. Can be a bit of a curse. This has gone into the stands.
Right, he goes for it. He goes for it. It's a six.
A towering 6, and the left-hander reached his third Test 100 and the one that could eventually be the first in a winning cause.
Got it mid-wicket.
Pant departed at 101, but his dismissal did not hurt the momentum as Washington Sundar carried on to raise his second Test 50.
It's 50 for Washington Sundar.
At stumps, India were 294 for 7, a lead of 89 runs over England, with Sundar batting on 60, and giving him company at the other end was Akshar Patel.
94 overs bowled.
Sports Bureau, India Today.
94 for 7.
Joining me now, the greatest of all time, the original little master, Sunny Bhai, Sunil Gavaskar, and our consulting editor, Boria Majumdar. Sunny Bhai, Rishabh Pant, pure dynamite, and it wasn't like he was just smacking the ball. He took his time. He knows when to shift gears. He's just batting in some other dimension right now, because I had a few complaints that he's not converting those 90s to 100s. Even in Australia, we saw him getting out of the big shot. Here again, goes for the same shot, gets to 100 with the 6. So Rishabh Pant, we were in a world of trouble, and how this man has single-handedly rescued India.
The edge.
Indeed, he has, hasn't he? The way he's played, he took the attack by the scruff of the neck, but before that, he was actually sussing everything out, looking at what the pitch is doing, what the bowlers were doing. He recognized the fact that England were handicapped by the fact that they didn't have too much confidence in their off-spinner Dom Bess, so that they were restricted to only 3 bowlers plus Joe Root, and therefore he took his time. Leach was giving him a little bit of problem at the start. He had to be watchful, and also with Anderson and Stokes, he was watchful at the start. But once he got his bearings, once he saw that there was nothing to worry about in the pitch, and the pitch wasn't doing anything extraordinary, he just got into his stride and played some extraordinary shots. And as he approached 100, and when the second new ball came, he treated Anderson as if Anderson was a spinner.
The reverse sweep, Sunny Bhai.
A reverse sweep, exactly. I mean, incredible batting. And so good to see that he didn't miss out on 100 this time around. He got 100. He was upset that he got on after that, because he was really looking forward to batting more and taking the England attack to the cleaners. Didn't happen, but till then, the partnership between him and Washington Sundar has taken India to safety.
Yes, well, before I go to Boria Majumdar, here's a little package with Rishabh Pant. Rishabh Pant's magnificent 101 on day 2 not only pulled India out of trouble, but has put India in the driver's seat again. Not too long ago, the left-hander was struggling in the sidelines, but he changed everything down under, and his confidence is just sky high right now.
In a matter of 3 months, Rishabh Pant has become India's most dependable asset. With India in trouble, Pant once again got his team out of jail with a century.
Now he's looking to take...
He batted with caution and took India close to England's first innings score of 205. Once he saw India were there, Pant was at his dangerous best, bringing up his third Test 100 with a 6.
Oh, Rishabh Pant, you give us so much fun. 100 with a 6. What a performance by this young man.
But what Pant did in Ahmedabad on day 2 has become a familiar sight, starting from Australia. Pant scored a magnificent 97 in the drawn Sydney Test and followed it up with a match-winning 89 not out in Brisbane. On a turning track in the first Test in Chennai, he scored a defiant 91 and then an unbeaten 58 not out in the second Test. Pant's 101, which happens to be his maiden Test 100 at home, has certainly lifted Team India's dying hopes after the hosts were left reeling at 146 for 6 at one stage. For all these years, Pant was often criticised for playing recklessly and not putting value to his wicket. The left-handed wicket-keeper batsman now seems to have come of age, making him one of the most dangerous weapons in Virat Kohli's armoury.
With a 6, and that's exactly what he's done.
Sports Bureau, India Today.
Rishabh Pant just defines explosiveness. Well, Boria Majumdar, consulting editor. Boria, special words for Rishabh Pant, and I know you have a special tribute for the original little master, the greatest of all time, as I call him, Sunil Gavaskar as well.
Thank you so much, Sushant. I mean, think about this. Rishabh Pant playing a reverse sweep to Jimmy Anderson. As Sunny Bhai said, I mean, all of us watched that shot and we were in awe.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what Indian cricket is all about. That partnership, 144, and then Washington Sundar and Rishabh Pant with the new ball. You know, the moment he got that 100, Saurav Ganguly calls and he says, how many times have I told you? How many times? And he's in Bangla, he keeps going on, and I'm just listening. And yes, it is true. Each time he's told me when this fellow was not getting runs, don't do this. This guy is one of your greatest match winners. Wait and watch.
Yeah.
All of us. Mr. Gavaskar was on commentary. I was listening to him. Unbelievable. He set it up, Sushant. And the final of the WTC will be in England. And yes, that's my tribute. Tomorrow, rather day after, Sunil Manohar Gavaskar steps into his 50th anniversary of international cricket. And that happened in the West Indies. He won us that series, 774. And he won us the series against England, that team, 1971. So when Rishabh is doing it, Mr. Gavaskar is clearly thinking the circle is complete. 50th anniversary, start of India's cricketing greatness. And if they win the WTC, completion of India's cricketing greatness. That's what this story is all about.
All right. I think we've got the match in the bag. I want to thank both my guests, the legendary Sunil Gavaskar and Boria Majumdar. Time for a short break now, but we'll come back with much more. So stay tuned to Sports Today. Welcome back. You're watching Sports Today. Well, let me toss straight ahead to Sunil Gavaskar. Sunny Bhai, how do you see the match now? Have we already got the match in the bag? How much is a decent total for us? Washington Sundar, he's been so good. Got that important wicket of Ben Stokes. He's batting with Akshar Patel. How do you see this match progressing from here?
This was on the
Well, I can only see an Indian victory after this lead of 89, and I'm sure it's going to be added to by both these young batsmen, because even towards the end, after Rishabh Pant got out, there was the possibility that England could run through the remainder of the Indian batsmen. That they didn't do was a tribute to both these newcomers. Akshar Patel playing only his third Test, and Washington Sundar playing his fourth Test. So I think there'll be a pretty good lead, maybe about 150, and that should be good enough for India to win this.
Right, but Sunny Bhai, and now I don't want to be too critical, but I have to play devil's advocate, as you know. Now the question is that, okay, now we are looking forward to the World Test Championship, but certain batsmen are a cause for concern. Shubman Gill, well, he was outstanding in Australia, not the same here in India. Again, Rahane, Pujara, even Virat Kohli struggling a bit. These guys have to perform if we have to have any sort of realistic chance of winning that World Test Championship.
Of course they have to perform. But remember one thing, that old saying, form is temporary, class is permanent. And all these guys are class personified. So I'm not worried. But they're just going through one of these lean periods that every cricketer goes through. There's some, sometimes you have a series where you don't really get the big runs, you don't get the big wickets, the big match hauls. So that is something that might be happening. As long as the Indian team is winning, I don't think there's any cause to worry. And don't you worry, when it comes to England in June, all these guys will be raring to go, and India will win that one as well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Sunny Bhai. Well, that's all the time that we have on Sports Today. I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully with India. Well, let's say that they'll win the match, but maybe day after. Thanks so much for watching. News and updates continue on India Today.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.